Kirishima finally gets some love, but this story does not have the most happiest of endings, so I must apologize for that, and let's continue. The powerful god of war, Kirishima. Many fear and respect this fearsome god, but what many do not know is how gentle this supposed bloodthirsty god is. Of course, only a special few know. Our story begins a long time ago at the Temple of the Gods, a place where many statues of gods can be worshipped and prayed to. The temple was taken care of by 8 temple maidens, all sisters. The youngest and most beautiful of the sisters was Yin. Every day she would attend to the statue of the gods, and every day Kirishima, the god of war, was struck by Yin's beauty. Ugh, weird hair. You're been oogling at that mortal for months now. Would you quit it? Bakugo, the sun god, growled. What? I just can't help it, Kirishima stuttered out. So, one day, he disguised himself as a simple hunter with straight black hair and visited the temple. There she was, Yin. She was pulling away the weeds growing around his statue as the sun kissed her skin, giving her an angel-like glow. He sighed nervously as he slowly made his way over to the young maiden. Yin was peacefully humming when she felt a presence. Turning, she saw a black-haired hunter making his way over to the statue. She smiled and simply moved to the side so that the visit can take care of his business. Beautiful day, isn't it? Kirishima said. It sure is, Yin smiled. Are you praying for any upcoming war, sir? What? No, just wanted to pay my respects, Kirishima said awkwardly as he looked up at his own statue. That's nice. Most only leave offerings for him to victory to hopefully win a war, Yin said with a slight frown. So, what's your name? Kirishima, he said nervously. Like the god Kirishima? Yin asked with a small giggle. Yeah, my parents were quite religious, Kirishima said with a bashful smile. Kirishima smiled softly as the two held a pretty simple and awkward conversation when it was interrupted by one of the sisters. Yin, we need to help take care of the garden, the eldest sister stared as she eyed Kirishima suspiciously. Coming, Krona. Have a good day, Sir Kirishima. Yin bowed as she ran over to her sister. But that wasn't the last time Yin would see Kirishima. He soon would come visit more and more. Sometimes he would just come by to talk, and other times he would help her with her chores. They would spend more time with each other as the years went by, all the while under the watchful eye of her sister, to make sure that no funny business was going on in such a scarce place. As the two grew close, Kirishima knew he had to Yin as his wife, but he needed Chrono's blessing. At dawn, Kirishima stood at the bottom of the temple steps, while Krona and Yin stood at the top. Krona staring down at Kiri. With a slight frown, Kirishima slowly made his way up the steps, slowly and nervously, looking at the intimidating temple maiden. Yin smiled nervously as she side-eyed her older sister with a pleading look. Kirishima stood a step beneath them as he took a knee to respect and wait and hope. Chrono stood above the man as she studied and scanned the worthiness of this suitor. Time seemed to stand still as Kirishima started to sweat, bands of nervousness dripping down his forehead. Yin could hear heart pound in her chest and oh my god. Chrono slowly kneeled to Kirishima's level and whispered, You better take care of my sister. Kirishima, god of war, Chrono whispered. What? How? The hair was almost convincing. You almost fooled me. Chrono chuckled. Kirishima and Yin just stared in shock and awe at Chrono, happily gratitude Kiri for her blessing. Yin sighed in relief as she happily ran into Kirishima's arms. With a smile, Kirishima happily whisked Yin away to his palace in the high mountains, where the two lived their lives peacefully. One day in the gardens, full of crystal roses and flowers, the couple were relaxing in the garden, sitting in the shade of a great willow as they enjoyed a calm breeze, when suddenly Kirishima could hear the great amount of prayers coming from his temple. Quickly one of his angels came running with news, a war with a rival kingdom. Yin, I know, just come back to me in one piece. Yin smiled as she kissed his cheek. I will. Mina, tell the other angels to protect the castle and Yin. Make sure to counter for every need, Kirishima ordered. Of course, she said with a salute. With so confident smile, Kirishima suited himself in his strongest armor. With a few angels made their way to the battlefield, sadly unaware of the looming figure in the dark parts of the mountain. The war ended in a terrible draw as the two enemies temporarily retreated to repair themselves. But as Kirishima ran through the front gates, expecting to see Yin there to greet him, the whole castle was quiet. His angels didn't come to greet him, and parts of the palace was hardly burned from the blue flames that remained. Things only got worse when he started to find bodies of angels. At first they were scattered, but more he made his way to Yin's chambers, the more bodies laid in larger groups. Kirishima rushed to Yin's room, only to find a horrible mess, like a fight had happened. Tables and furniture were turned over and some burned by the same blue flames. Yin, where are you? Kirishima cried out as he ran out of the room. Kirishima had searched the entire castle, but couldn't find her. He suddenly heard a cry from a temple of the gods, the temple where Yin was from. Without a second thought, Kirishima rushed over to see the temple to find Chrono and her other sisters, hunched over, sobbing and crying in despair. As he walked over, he looked to the left to see blood smirched all over his statue. At the front of his statue lay Yin's bloody body. Yin! Kirishima cried. As he ran over to her, he held her close as tears ran down his cheeks. Laughed a man's voice. Everyone looked at the source of the voice to see the god of chaos, Dabi. Let darkness reign, Dabi chuckled as he pointed to the blood-red moon. Next to him stood a looming figure with a crescent moon brooch. Kirishima gasped at the figure next to Dabi. Selene, the goddess of the moon. P.S. A little secret Deku was telling his students about this story, so yeah. Teehee. I don't know what the teehee was for, but thank you guys for listening. Bye, lovelies.